What's up, everybody, and welcome to the best Facebook ads audiences for 2025. I've heard a lot of confusion and arguing around this subject from media buyers and quote unquote Facebook ads experts. And I'm here to tell you that the solution is a lot simpler than you probably think it is. And we're about to dive right into it. So without further ado, this is going to be a value-packed video. I hope you stick around and let's get into it. So who am I? My name is Luke Thorburg. I sometimes go by Thor. I am a Meta approved advertiser. I'm a personal Meta partner, and my agency Bolt is also the highest level of agency partner that you can achieve. I've spent $100 million profitably on paid ads across our client portfolios and brands that I have personal involvement with. So we're testing these strategies in real time with brands that we're currently working with. And I'm also just an industry thought leader in the advertising space. I've created thousands of educational videos across YouTube, across school, across TikTok, across Instagram, across LinkedIn, you name it, the list goes on. So I practice what I preach. I am running ads every single day of my life, and I get to see a lot of these strategies work or fail in real time, and then I can bring you the best stuff. Now, a lot of the common misconceptions that I see with Facebook advertisers and the audiences that they're trying to test is they're still running ads like it is 2020, 2019, 2018, because frankly, a lot of them stopped running ads in 2019 and 2018, and they're still giving you the same old strategies that worked back then, but don't necessarily work now. And a lot of them look like the following: just stacking endless lookalike audiences, 1 to 2%, 2 to 3%, 1 to 10%, over and over again. Guys, this stuff doesn't work anymore. All it's going to do is cause audience overlap. It's going to cause inefficient spending in your ad account. This stuff does not work. Another one that I see a lot of is just excessive interest targeting. So just having like 20 different ad sets, each one split testing a single interest. Again, guys, all this is going to do is limit Meta's ability to learn. It's going to limit the algorithm from doing what it knows best, fragment your audiences that you're targeting. This is another strategy that I see talked about all the time still, but frankly, it does not work. We don't want to just be separating single interests in 20 different ad sets. It's not good. So the first strategy that we're going to go into is for newer brands. And by newer brands, I would say anyone who's spent less than $100,000 through their ad account, you qualify as a new brand whenever it comes to paid ads. And that's just because your pixel doesn't have any data, your ad account doesn't have any data. The algorithm can't find your customer all by itself because it doesn't have anything to work off of. And therefore, you're going to have to give it a little bit more guidance than someone with a seasoned ad account that maybe has spent $1 million plus. So what you're going to do is whenever you go into your ad account, you're going to use Meta's new Advantage Plus audiences. And by new, it's like a year old, right? It's not incredibly new. And what we're going to try to do here is guide the algorithm, but we're not going to tell it where it has to go. Meta's algorithms are using billions and billions of data points. It is very incredible the way that it can target customers, but it doesn't know what it doesn't know. If you don't have any data, what we need to do is guide it a little bit. So we're going to point it in the right direction. Maybe we say we have a jewelry company or something like that, and we're going to say, let's target people who are interested in jewelry. Maybe we sell a ring, so we're going to target people that are interested in rings, and then we're going to let the algorithm find our customer from there. So like I just said, we're going to add a few relevant interests into the ads manager under the Advantage Plus audience, and we're about to show you what this looks like in just a second, so hold on. And this is just based on what you already know about your customer. And then from there, we're going to ask Meta for some suggestions. After you give Meta a few inputs whenever you're using these Advantage Plus audiences, Meta is going to give you some suggestions to help you fill out the rest. So let's dive into this. Let's see what it looks like. So we're in a dummy ad account right now, as well as a dummy campaign that I just set up. And we are at the ad set level, and you'll see right here, Advantage Plus audiences. And if you're a more seasoned advertiser, then you might be more used to original audiences, right? This is where we actually tell Meta where it has to go. We say, Meta, you have to use these interests. You cannot go outside of them. And because Meta has pulled so many interests away, and interests have gotten so much more ineffective over the years as Meta really has started to limit them, We don't want to tell Meta, hey, you have to stay within these interests. We want to just suggest these interests. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we turn Advantage Plus audiences back on just like it was before, because that is the most effective way of giving audience suggestions here in 2025 now. And we said that we sell jewelry, so we're going to go ahead and type in jewelry. And we want to make sure that we stick to the interest here. And then we can add in rings as well. There we go. And then we can ask Meta for suggestions. And you see, we've got wedding rings. You can always do online shopping. We can do fashion accessories. And what I would say is try to keep these suggestions relatively tight to whoever your target customer is. So if you don't sell necklaces, if you don't sell pendants, don't click on them, even if they are jewelry. Again, Meta is going to go look outside of these interests if they can't find your customer. But we want to keep them pretty narrow, especially if we're just giving initial suggestions to guide the algorithm. And other than that, we're ready to go. It's pretty simple. We gave Meta our suggestions. We're going to rely on the algorithm outside of that. Now on to strategies for more mature brands that have spent more, that have more of that data. I say, guys, do 100% broad targeting. Lean into Meta's algorithms, give it zero constraints, let it do what it is built to do. You can be the best media buyer in the world. You can understand all of the most nuanced media buying strategies in the world. But at the end of the day, you're competing against algorithms that are utilizing billions of data points. You're not going to win that battle. You are not AI. You are not a supercomputer. Just go ahead and lean into these technologies that Meta has given us, right? So I recommend stick to broad targeting, especially as you've spent a good amount through your ad account. Typically what we find is that broad almost always is going to beat out interests, lookalikes, any other audience suggestions. So just lean into broad, lean into the algorithm, let it find your customer for you. The only exception to this rule that I will say is maybe excluding your existing customers. So some businesses, they can't sell to a customer more than once, or they can't sell to a customer more than once within a given time generally. So sometimes it does make sense to add exclusions to who you are targeting by uploading your customer list or any past purchasers and telling the algorithm not to target them. In some cases that makes sense because you don't want a bunch of your money being spent on retargeting to people who can never purchase again. There's very limited businesses where the customer can't purchase twice. So keep that in mind. Even with like a supplement, maybe they aren't going to buy generally within 90 days if they just purchased. But oftentimes you want to keep reinforcing the benefits of your supplement because most supplements are mostly placebo anyways. You want to keep reinforcing those benefits even after they purchase. So sometimes retargeting makes sense if you want them to get onto subscriptions. So there's only a few different businesses where I think this really applies to. If you are one of them, feel free to exclude your past purchasers or your past customers. That's totally fine. But outside of that, you're probably going to want to go completely broad. Okay, now if you want to know the hack, so to speak, to really make sure that your ad gets in front of your target audience, it's by calling them out in the messaging of your ad creative. So for example, the only insoles that help you jump higher, this is very obviously targeted to basketball players and athletes. And therefore, they're going to be more likely to comment, like, share, engage with this ad overall, then the algorithm is going to know to share that creative to more people just like them. The algorithm's very, very powerful. If it sees that a certain type of person is reacting to that creative, it's going to show that creative to more people just like them. So you need to make sure that you are calling out your customer avatar and your customer demographic within your creatives. And we've got a couple of examples here, right? The only insoles that help you jump higher, very obviously targeted towards athlete and basketball players. Soap for men, not snowflakes, very obviously targeted to conservative men. And then top 3 ingredients to help bumpy arms. That's very obviously going to stop people who have an issue with bumpy arms. If you have smooth arms, if you don't have this problem, it's probably not going to interest you and you're going to move on. Think about it just like organic content, guys. Whenever a certain type of person reacts to your post, it's going to trigger the algorithm to share it to more people just like them. It is the exact same thing with ads. This is the one true hack that you can use to get your ad in front of more of your desired customer and target them more and more accurately. You need to call them out, you need to speak to them, and trigger the algorithm to show your ad to more people who are just like them. Okay, 3 things that I want you to take away from this video and immediately start applying it to your ads and to your ad account. Number 1, new brands should guide the algorithm, but don't tell it where it has to go. Use those Advantage Plus suggestions. Say, hey, my customers are over here. They're interested in rings, they're interested in jewelry, but don't tell it that it has to stick within those interests with the original audience options. It's an outdated strategy. It doesn't work well anymore. Lean into the algorithm. Make sure you guide it in the right direction and show it where your customers are, and then let it work from there. Number 2, if you're a mature brand, you should lean into the algorithm almost entirely. Guys, again, it's leveraging billions of data points. After you spent significantly, let's say $100,000 or higher within your ad account, you're never going to target broad, no matter how great of media buying strategies or magic interest stacks or lookalikes you have. The algorithm is going to win at the end of the day, especially at scale. Oftentimes they'll spend like $100 or $200 with an interest stack. Be like, it's outperforming broad. It's like, keep spending, increase your budget. I guarantee you that broad is going to outperform at scale, guaranteed. And then finally, number 3, calling out your audience with your creative is key to your success. That is the number 1 hack that you can use to manipulate Meta's targeting in 2025. It's by the ad creatives that you make and the messaging of those creatives. Who you're calling out is going to make a huge difference in terms of who that ad is placed in front of. So if you want to manipulate the algorithm, that is going to be your way in 2025. You need to call out your customer with your ads and make content that appeals to them. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you consider subscribing and sticking around. I've got a bunch of different links down here in my bio, different places that you can connect with me, different ways that you can work with me. Go ahead and check those out if you're interested, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.